thorough communication between brand owner, designer agency, and printer is the key to a seamless workflow when embarking on a new project. However, even with the best plans laid out, issues can arise. That's why preparation is crucial. We spoke with Kory Grushka, Director of Business Development at Works Design Group, about some of the common problems with communication and the best ways to open up the lines of communication as early as possible.
So we had one client in recent memory that where the project worked great. It was Mandarin Market. It was a frozen Asian food product selling into retail. We did some work for them for their Costco packaging, and the printer was local to us, relatively local in the Northeast. The client was local. When we were brought in, we immediately started open communication with the printer. You know, a lot of times a branding agency, a design agency doesn't have the luxury of actually doing the design and finishing it, doing production, working with the printers. In this instance, we did. We handled soup to nuts the whole project, and we were designing the bags, plastic bags, and paper corrugate boxes to go, into Costco, into the freezer. And so we engaged the printer very early on in the process to make sure colors matched, to make sure communication was open, to make sure the designs we were designing could be, easily executed with the printers. There weren't a lot of gradients, and I won't get too nerd out on you or anything, but the designs that we delivered worked with the offset printing or the litho and whatnot. So one project, I guess it's not that it didn't go smoothly, it's just the timeline was a little extended. There were a lot of extra revisions. It was for Lionel Trains. We did a project where we designed the packaging for a new product called Megatrax that they were launching. We were, like with Mandarin Market, we were involved soup to nuts from the design all the way through the production and working with the printers in China. And there were a variety, we had a number of issues that some of them were admittedly our fault in terms of communication. Some of them were just timing. Some of them were cultural language differences. But the printer was in China, the manufacturer and printer, and there just ended up being we would finish the files, we would deliver them to China, and then there were issues with how they were received and outlining fonts rather than using fonts themselves so they could make edits easily. So every time we would deliver a file and it would be built as a final production file, if there were changes it'd have to come back to us. So that's a harder one, because of the language issues and because of the time, the time difference, and because of just the working parameters. But if we had been in touch, if we had pushed to be in touch with the printer earlier on, if the printer had pushed to be in touch with us earlier on, and we had been, in frequent communication, it probably would have facilitated a kind of a cleaner project. But it ended up being great, and it worked out well. So.
Packaging turned out great. All right, well, thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you.